Hey everyone, this is Jeanette the Oracle, and I'm here to provide Lightworker guidance for the month of September 2024. I hope everybody is doing well and is feeling this shift as we come very close now to the spiritual new year. When this video is finished, I will update the description with the link to sign up for the Spiritual New Year channeling event that I do every year for autumn equinox. This is different, obviously, than the Gregorian calendar New Year, which obviously would be January 1st, or the Zodiac New Year, which would be with the spring equinox. But the Spiritual New Year is autumn equinox, and it essentially, or that Libra season, and it essentially is that time where we are closest to being able to receive messages behind the veil, if you will, connecting to the divine mysteries, etc. During that time in the fall and the autumn. And so being able to get a sense or catch a glimpse of, guidance that is there, insight into the spiritual environment where our path so far is taking us and what we can do in order to consciously engage with that, to leverage opportunities or minimize obstacles or more effectively deal with obstacles can come through at that time. And then we can see over the course of that year an unfolding, a coming to pass of what has come through. So it is something I've been doing for the past couple of years. I do love it and enjoy it. We do spend a good amount of time, a minimum 2 hours, up to 3, depending on the messages that come through. But it is all spiritual guidance. So if you are feeling that, like I said, I will update the description with the link to sign up for it. It will be the live event will be on Saturday, September 21st. At 8 a.m. Pacific time, which would be 11 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time. And when you sign up, whether or not you actually are able to attend live, you will get access to the recording. Now, as a bonus feature for those who are Covenant members, you automatically get access to the live event and you automatically get access to the recording, and it's for free for you, so you don't have to pay. But for everybody else who is not a Covenant member, you can sign up for that when I put that below, all right? So be on the lookout for that when you are watching this recording. Of course, I am also sharing the information in my newsletter, so that is there. So definitely check that out. If you're on Instagram, you'll find the link to sign up in the link in my bio, okay? But that is the event that's coming up. Also, speaking of covenants, I have the new schedule up for covenant in the member space, as well as I posted it on IG and in the newsletters. If I have time today, I'll also post it in the community tab here on the YouTube channel, so you can check that out. So on that schedule, you have each week me or one of the other coaches in the Inner Alchemy family will be leading a live group coaching session, and it'll be coaching related to the areas that we have expertise in. So for me, of course, it's spirituality, metaphysics, as well as business related areas. I'll be first up in the month. I'm having my session on Thursday, September 5th. And then, Atia and Reverend Portia have their sessions. And then the event this month, there's always an event or workshop or something that is additionally dropped, will be the Spiritual New Year channeling. So all of that is there. Like I said, you can find the information in those places I mentioned, or I will be also updating YouTube with that info so you can check it out there. All right. If you would like to support me with a donation, buy me some tea, buy me some coffee. Your girl loves a good drink. The information to donate is scrolling on the banner there, as well as in the description. So you can donate via PayPal. That is the best way for me to track. So I appreciate it if you use that as well. Let's see, we got greetings from Inglewood. Just finished sipping on coffee and have been feeling much stronger since last week. Awesome, thank you. I was just about to transition into asking how folks were feeling now that we have been working with these prayers, and you know, the heavenly realms, the angelic armies have been coming through, you know, as the Holy Spirit directed to help clear and protect and heal and restore us and all that good thing. So I'm so glad to read that you are feeling much stronger. I am too. I've really been, for my own personal work, you know, I, much like I do for my returning clients, I offer birthday readings, but I also do for myself as well too. And it was interesting when I got the messages for this month. Well, anytime I give messages, like there's always multiple meanings. So I always get like the first understanding based off of what my pressing concern and desire is. But then once I live out the experience, there's additional messages that come through. So this month also had to deal with healing. And now in the context of this, the occurrences that have happened, like I understand. So I've really been leaning in and doing deep daily energetic healing work and supporting of the ascension of my own soul, my own consciousness much more fervently, going fuller, going more expansive, going higher, and really making sure I myself am leaning into all that's next and available for me in the spirit. So hopefully that is opening up for everyone else as well too. But yeah, I'm so happy to hear and to see that you're feeling much stronger. So as folks come in, if you are new to the Soul Family or it's been a while since you've joined, please definitely say hi. Let us know what you're sipping on, where you are joining from. I'll introduce myself again, Jeanette the Oracle, founder and CEO of Inner Sun Alchemy. We've been out here since 2017, and God willing, we're not going nowhere. I'm joining you from sunny, but today cloudy Los Angeles, and I have some nice cold water because it is summer in California and the heat is doing what the heat is, but it is slightly cooler today, so that is nice. Alrighty, so as you can see from the title and the description, I'm giving Lightworker guidance for September. Now, from previous messages for Oracle Talks, I think it was actually the last time I did this, which would have been for August, beginning of August. I was being given downloads for what the roles of lightworkers are in the spirit versus good afternoon from New Jersey, sipping on coffee. Hey, coffee's in the house today. I'm thinking I might have some later. I have some maple coffee from a wedding I went to recently. It was really yummy. So I think I might have some of that. But hey, welcome. Let me know, Lisha Curl, how you are feeling. So far, it seems that the energy is definitely on the up and up, and folks are feeling better. So let me know. But yeah, I believe it was the Lightworker message for August, where I was being given roles that the Lightworkers have in the spirit, as opposed to the Lightworker role framework that I have for our work here in the world as Lightworkers, which is more of a threefold nature. So that way shower, healer / sustainer, and transformer vibe, like that. Those are there's actually another layer in that download was coming through before. So what I'm actually going to do, and I will make sure to timestamp. I went back and timestamped the other videos as well too, just for ease. But what I'm going to do is actually go through each sign, because obviously this is guidance for you to Lightworkers. So in addition to giving the guidance, I'm going to start with an even more clarified, refined, and simple discussion for the function of that particular role, that particular archetype. So that there's a little bit more clarity, and hopefully now that helps to further the conversation and the ideas that were initially seeded and floated in that previous Lightworker message. Cool. Yeah, awesome. So let me start. Let me see if there's anything else I need to address before we begin. I think we're fine. I'm just going to have us do an opening breathing meditation and call in the archangels, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Let me see comments. I'm feeling better and clearer. Yes, awesome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because Lord have mercy. As I mentioned in that previous, the Fight for Humanity video, like I was not expecting those messages to come through. So you and me both have like just like what has been going on, and then that clarity about what's been going on was eye-opening. So yeah, I'm glad that things are feeling better. Okay, so let us actually begin now with opening meditation. So let me start. So go ahead and sit up nice and tall. You can close your eyes, or you can pick a point on the floor about 6 to 8 feet in front of you to focus on. And slowly bringing your attention to your breath. Allowing concerns of yesterday, today, and tomorrow to just briefly be put on hold. We know that life does not stop, and we don't seek to try to make it stop. But what we do have the opportunity to do is release control momentarily and slip into the flow of the live stream of Source itself. And feel and experience how pure Source-like consciousness sustains us and sustains life itself. And now we're going to go through a timed breathing exercise. We've done this one before. We'll inhale for a count of 5, hold for a count of 5, exhale for a count of 5, and then hold for a count of 5. And we will do this for 5 rounds. I will lead us all through the first 2 rounds and have silence for the other 3, and you can guide yourself. And as we go through this breathing exercise, continuing to allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. Opening up more and more of your consciousness, your conscious awareness, opening up more and more of your body consciousness, opening up more of your energetic, etheric bodies. And so let's begin. So inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own. And when you're done, just return to your regular breathing. And repeat after me out loud if you can. If not, in your mind, silently to yourself, or you can even whisper it if that's possible. But repeat after me. I call forth and welcome in my highest self, my divine essence, and pure source light consciousness to merge through all of my beingness, opening, expanding, amplifying, divinitizing, purifying, strengthening. I ask that the power and presence of Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Raphael be here with me now. I ask you to neutralize, cancel, clear, and delete any and all harmful, malevolent, or disharmonious energies or entities, spirits or thought forms, emotions, psychic cores, or attachments from any and all of my energetic bodies. In any places within myself, old beliefs, paradigms, patterns that are not aligned with my highest self and divine essence be released back to source. I pray that I am unburdened from carrying these things which are not mine to carry. And I pray that the archangels, the master teachers and healers who serve the ascension of the souls of humanity imbue me with pure source light consciousness, filling every cell, every layer, every dimensional level of me. I lighten up, I expand, and I express my perfect and pure divinity. I declare and decree this to be so for my highest and greatest good. Amen. All right, perfect timing. So we're going to jump right into Aries. Actually, no, we will not do that. Scratch that. We are going to first get the path and the purpose for this month, and then I'll get into individual messages. So let me get these cards out first. Amen. Yes. Again, these are messages for work or path of purpose in the spirit. So this is to affirm and also provide insight and guidance and answers to your jurisdiction in the spirit, how you are, how we are. empowered to work in the spirit. And again, this would be in addition to our work in the world, or simultaneous to our work in the world. So the way shower, healer, sustainer is working in the world and using the tropical astrology zodiac framework as a way to help provide clarity on work in the spirit. So where we are empowered to influence, shift, and move things. So these are, or this is guidance from the Kingdom of Heaven. I am doing the mansion spread, 22 card spread. So this may or may not take a few minutes for me to get all the cards out. Okay. Ooh. Welcome to folks coming in. Oh, a bunch of folks jumped in. Hello, just joined from the UK with water. Welcome in from the UK. Evening from London. Sending love to you all. Another UK person sipping on some water right now, also with the water. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you for joining. All right. For those who are just joining, we did actually just finish doing an opening meditation. So I invite you, when you do watch the recording, to go back and attune to that. So as I mentioned, we're getting Lightworker messages for the month ahead. First and foremost, before I get into the individual messages, I am going to be getting the path and the purpose to direct the focus for the month. And then as we get into the individual messages, how that would relate to your individual sign. Quickly, as a review, when I'm talking about your role and specifically the zodiac sign, it is going to be referring to your rising sign primarily, and then secondarily the North Node sign. Now, You can find that for free. Like there are free natal chart generators online, so definitely get that. If you don't already have that information, go ahead and get that. For those of you who do not know your time of birth, you would not be able to get your rising sign. So in that case, use the North Node sign as the primary info that you follow, and then the secondary info being the South Node, okay? Regardless of whether or not you know your time of birth, the node information will be present. And in fact, like all of the information will be present, just not the rising sign and subsequently the houses. Okay, so make sure you have that info, because the messages are directed to that. Reason being, I'm using that framework as the representation of your spirit. Okay. And how your spirit operates in the heaven. So let's get to this path and purpose first and foremost. And like I said, when this is done, I will be putting the timestamps. I'm making note of them now, so it'll be easy to go back. So when you do review this as well, make sure you're coming back to this path and purpose part first, and then reviewing your signs. All right, so we're starting with this. So we are going on the path of the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck right now is the Five of Swords. First card out is the Justice card. Okay, so massive, definitely massive transformations and changes that are happening right now. This is almost giving me that sense of the changing of the guards. So I believe I mentioned previously in the update video around the fights for the souls of humanity and the politics of heaven, about the mimicking issues that we've been dealing with of another in the spirit being in our place, our position, pretending to be us, and as a consequence, getting the spiritual inheritance and the resources afforded to that position for themselves rather than those going to us. So yeah, this is feeling like that actual like changing of position. So we are coming back into, or rightfully coming into that position that actually is for us. And then those beings in the spirit who were mimicking and pretending to be us, being moved out. And I'm actually they're literally facing judgment now. Like they're in that process now. Joining in from Houston a little late, drinking water and blowing broth. Oh, that sounds yummy. Welcome, welcome. Perfect timing. Okay. So we're just getting the path and purpose message for the month. I haven't gotten into the individual signs yet. So justice is underway, literally, for those beings that were in our position. But we are also, if we haven't already been moved into position, and that should have come through clearly, if that has, that process will continue, as I mentioned before. So expect the insight around that to continue to come out in waves to folks. I would like to get a heads up, actually, have folks already been getting that insight of their position, of their role, at least some of that in the spirit, like in a deeper way. However that has shown up for you. So if you don't feel comfortable like saying specifically what it is, that's fine. But I would like to know if that has already started to come through for some folks. It literally came through like the day after for me because of that initial channeling on the 15th. But yeah, let me know if that has started to come through. Okay, so after justice, we go 8, 9, 10. Here to Temperance. Yes, about 4 weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Temperance here. Oh, interesting. So in addition with this Justice card, um, yes, the insight and information will be coming through about the position that you hold at this particular stage. And also, it's important to choose to be in that position, excuse me, and operate in that position. Essentially to do your job. Because it's like, it's like if you got a promotion to a manager or I would say public office, but you know, folks can be in public office and not be doing their jobs and still be kept in office. But that's less likely to happen like at a school or at a job. So yeah, like if you got into a position and it's just like, oh yeah, I got this position and you know, awesome. But then you don't actually do anything, like you don't actually show up to work. It's not that there's like punishment around that in any way, shape, or form. But it's like that position being left vacant leaves it open to someone or something taking control of it when it's supposed to be, you know, stewarded by you. So it's a protection of the work. We don't want to be negligent. And the position, unlike here, probably in the human world, I would say it shouldn't really feel like any kind of burden or anything. It should actually feel like a natural progression. It should feel easy. It should feel like a natural flow because it's something that's in alignment with your own divine essence. Yeah, because we're not talking about like, you know, healing personal trauma, right? Like it's not that kind of thing. Still waiting on details and clarity, but the role was given. Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's essentially the purpose for this message and future messages. So hopefully this helps everybody else. Anybody else got intel about their position? Feel free to share in the comments. Okay, so yes, those beings who were mimicking, I'll just call them like the mimics. They are currently facing judgments. And this is giving me Tartarus vibes. As a reminder, human souls don't go to hell. Other energies are the ones that actually like go to hell. We just go to the astral and we have our stuff that we have attendants to help us heal and all that. But so yeah, those beings are there. Now, as that relates to us, this is the implementation and integration and working with patients, becoming more familiar with the role and operating from that space. This is also saying that, sorry, the helicopter. We will be starting to see and feel the shifts happening in our physical lives now that this process has been underway and starting to clear. And as people have been mentioning, they are feeling stronger, they are feeling lighter, better, clearer, etc. So hopefully that continues for everyone else who's will be watching this either live or on recording. So expect that to continue to unfold. The pace will increase. There may be some important material shifts that we start to see depending on what has been stripped from us over the past either couple months or past few years, starting to see some significant shifts as it relates to those areas by Sagittarius season, which would be November, December, which is in that time frame of those 4 moons that I was talking about over those last 2 videos. So gradual improvements continuing over basically through the rest of the year. As an FYI, if you're wanting to know some timing, things definitely continuing to improve, and obviously will continue from there, but yeah, some good market changes over that time. All right, next. Next on the path is Queen of Swords. More and more conversation will be had as long as you show up to have the conversation. All right. So going back to this, choosing to operate in that position, we are needing, obviously this includes me too, we are needing to be in regular conversation and communication with the higher realms, with the heavenly realms, etc. Again, depending on where specifically you are, that will help to direct you to where to go when we get into the individual signs. But yeah, this is communication counsel specifically that's going to be coming through and available, which will provide further insight for actions to take throughout the month. And it also will help with just in general conversations that you have, because I'm only planning to do these messages, these specific types of messages once a month, unless I get told otherwise. But obviously there may be other things that come up throughout the month that are going to be more specific to you and your role. So, the building of these relationships is important. Okay, so that you can stay on top of your work in the spirit. And again, it is a choice. Like if you really, like I said, there is no punishment if you choose not to, but please understand that that position does get vacated. And until someone else gets appointed to it, it's in danger of being abused. So if you want to have a conversation about, with whoever your team is about things, and just be like, yeah, I'm not trying to do both spirit work and human work as well, then you can have the conversation. You're well within your right to do so. Like there truly is no judgment, because regardless, your in-person light worker role is still very valuable and valid. Right? Like it is a both ands, not a either or necessarily, but if you want to just have one, that's a conversation to have. But I would also question, it'd be good to question why you might be shying away from that. Anyway, don't know why that was coming up, but maybe somebody is watching it just like right now and is like not trying to be up in the spirit like that. But if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be here. Right? Like the thing is, in heaven, it actually is a meritocracy. It's not how things work down here. So you're there because you're good and you can be trusted with it. So trust the recognition. Okay, next. 5 of Pentacles. So we do need to be strong and have courage through these changes. Again, they won't be happening fast. Already gave a little bit of like initial timing, like through the end of the year is like a gradual increase and shift. This may even be like 5 months, but there's still a lot of changes. We're not out of the woodworks yet. On a personal level. On a spirit level, though, this is actually giving me the devil. So as it relates to that, this could possibly be specific strongholds at the 5th dimension. Depending on the level of energetic work that you're doing, you may have already been picking up stuff in the 5th, whether within your own soul or just in the 5th dimension in general. But yeah, I forgot about these other notes that I was given when that Holy Spirit message came through initially a couple weeks ago. So the 5th dimension is where, for those of you who have a Christian background, the 5th dimension is where the beast resides. The beast in the book of Revelations. Is it Revelations or Revelation? I can never remember. Is it a single revelation or multiple revelations? But yeah, so the beast does work for the devil, but this is also, the beast operates at the 5th dimension. This would be, spirit of capitalism, all of those energies that exploit, etc., greed, genocidal energies, so spirits, like all of that is here. This is the beast. The woman that rides the beast, that is representative of those mimicking spirits or other beings who were at the 7th dimension. And so in that book of Revelations, I forgot what chapter that was. I think it was either 7 or 17 of Revelation. Okay, it is Revelation. So it's either chapter 7 or chapter 17. I can't remember where it's specifically talking about the beast and the woman. But in that chapter, it does show that the beast, or relay that the beast was using the woman. The woman was envious and wanted to take the power of essentially the souls of humanity. So it was, in her cup was the blood, right? The power. So that, when I was getting more detail, I don't think I shared all this in the last video, but when I was getting more detail, they were pointing me to that scripture as a reference of the dynamic of what was actually going on, and the siphoning, essentially the mimicry of us, and the taking of our powers, our goods, our resources, our spiritual inheritance by this woman. But as you know or may not know, in that chapter, the woman does, get devoured, because, she was really just being used. But she essentially represents that envy and that jealousy and that desire to just take, similar to the beast. But again, the beast was using, but the beast does live here at the 5th. So I get the sense that we're going to have to be dealing with this, like, actually more directly head on, in the spirit, not just in the work that we do in the physical, which would be, our political actions, boycotting, divesting, like all those kinds of things. That's the light worker work in the physical. But in the spirit, this is where the beast resides. I was just reading about that woman and the connection to the lust card. Yeah. I was told to research it, so this makes sense. Yeah. So that's what that was representing. I was getting so much intel, and I really was like, what can I share that's just going to be simple and focused? But that whole passage, I was being taken through, and to help give a framework for what was happening. So if you are so inclined, feel free to go read that chapter in Revelation about the beast and the woman. So the woman was essentially what we were dealing with, but the beast is there. There in that 5th, that's where it kind of lords over, and obviously can be very oppressive to not only the astral realm, but us in the 3D as well, in the physical world as well. This is a lot of what, when people are talking about, wanting to fight the matrix, it's actually this, and it shows up as, the ways in which we organize and harm one another collectively, right? Here in the physical world, but it's actually this. You can't, the tactic of running from the matrix or the beast is not going to work anymore. Like, we actually just have to destroy the beast. And it's a multi-pronged attack, just like it would be in the physical, but the multi-pronged attack also needs to be happening in the spirit. And it's a tough one because it's one where the beast has been around for a while. It has many heads, has many kings associated with it, right? So it's not like a one and done thing. It's a systematic dismantling of it. Now, of course, we can't have a vacuum, so, there has to be something to replace. And there is, thankfully. I feel like that's some tea. That might have to be another conversation. Yeah, we'll stay focused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that was the message. Okay. That was the path and the purpose. So it was 4 steps. The Justice card, first and foremost. Okay. Temperance, Queen of Swords, and 5 of Pentacles. But yeah, this when we finish, we actually come back to the Justice card. So this is about like the actual changing of the guard, essentially that work of dealing with the beast and dismantling its power, its hold, dismantling the strongholds, supports the changing of the guard. So sending the beast down to Tartarus, down to where the devil actually resides, which is not Tartarus, but it's the void, and or a prison void, I'll say. And then that which is supposed to be the new guard coming in, being able to take its place. Okay, comments, questions, concerns before we jump into individual signs. Any questions, comments, concerns? I don't see anything. So, am I keeping this or, okay, good, I'm gonna shift all the cards. All right, so once again, these are Lightworker roles in the spirit, and our focus is going to be on this beast in some way, shape, or form, dealing with this. As I mentioned before, you want to pay attention to your rising sign first, and additional clarity and insight coming through your North Node. So you're going to pay attention to both of those signs. Rising sign, like your true rising sign, even if it's a 29th degree, it doesn't matter. That's your rising. And your North Node. If you do not know your rising sign because you don't have your time of birth, then you would do your North Node sign as the primary, and then additional insights, and secondarily the South Node, okay? Now, as a heads up, there's a third point of clarity as well too. The opposite sign of whatever your rising sign in general is the focus for your Lightworker role in the spirit, like just in general. So even if it's at a time where, excuse me, there's not any like apparent thing to focus on, at a bare minimum, whatever is the opposite sign to your rising sign is going to be that. So you would direct your attention to that area, just in general. Okay. For this, like I said, this is going to be about addressing the beast. So this is, because of my nature, this is going to be war strategy. But you know, people's jobs and that can be very, very different. And so for those of you, again, that don't know your rising sign, you just focus on whatever the north node is. Or south node is, excuse me. Well, I guess it's not a slip. First node informed by the south node. If you don't, north node informed by the south node if you don't have your time of birth. I think there will actually be even more additional insight and clarity coming through later, but that might be more so in the spiritual New Year channeling event that I do on autumn equinox. So yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch a couple of videos, then come back. Yeah. So well, in terms of Lightworker roles, I'm going to review that in this for each individual sign. So you won't actually have to go back to that August message for Lightworkers. I believe it was an August message. So you won't have to go back for that because I'm going to like significantly simplify down to like a word or two, the function. But in terms of what has just recently been happening, it's only these last two videos in terms of the spiritual warfare. Now the other Lightworker, the other video around Lightworkers, which is about how to find out which type of Lightworker you are, that one is good to watch. But again, that one was related to more so work in the physical. So that was the way shower, sustainer, and transformer one. So that also will be in the playlist for Oracle Talks as well. But that is not going to be relevant for this conversation. So everything that you need for this conversation will be here. But it's still good to go back and check if you still want to go more. Jeanette, what does it mean when the ascendant north node are the same in a chart? Thank you. Oh, it just means that that's what it is. It doesn't for this, based on the framework that we're working under, it doesn't actually matter. What does it mean? Oh, that is repeated. Okay. Okay. I think that was it. Any more questions, comments, concerns? We're good. All right. Should have written down all the names beforehand. Apologies. Okay. So let me get my notes because I do not have this memorized. I love y'all, but I do not have this memorized yet. All new information. Okay. Aries folks, we're gonna do 103. For Aries people, you have your role is focused on like literally the human soul, okay, in the spirit. So not the physical life of the soul, but like the energetics of the soul. Said another way, depending on where you're coming from, like the human soul templates, divine DNA, you know, the chakra system, the meridians, the energy system, like the energetics of the soul, the divinity, the spirit that enlivens the soul, like everything related to that in the spirit is the focus for Aries. In short, human soul. Like if you're like, what's your focus? Is like the human soul, like literally itself, right? I love how I'm giving this before I even like got all the cards out for all the signs. I just want to get into these messages. It's really what it is. There's a lot that wants to come through. You're welcome. Welcome to any new folks coming in. Please like the video. It helps to spread it in the YouTube ecosystem. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Of course, please share the video. If you're not already signed up for the newsletter, sign up for that. I do have the prayer for the protection of the souls of humanity up on the website, innersinalchemy.com. So if you did not get that, you can use that for your protection now through the basically December at least. The community co-created that framework. So feel free to use that prayer. There are other prayers that I also have, some on IG, some on the site. I'm gonna be sure to bring the ones on IG to the site over time. Just 3 more cards. If anyone came in more recently, reconnect to your breath. And expand your energetic fields. Call in and forth your highest self, your divine essence and pure source-like consciousness to merge with your beingness. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Aries. Aries, your focus is the human soul. The card for you during this month ahead as it relates to dealing with the beast at the 5th dimension. And that's, you know, a catch-all phrase, but there are many components, many heads, many kings. You have the 2 of Pentacles. So I'm getting the sense with this imagery that it's going to be important for you to focus on in the spirit, developing and learning new forms of protection for the human soul, possibly integrating new insight that has already come through and is available, and incorporating that into, you know, your own practices for your own human soul, but working with other, for lack of a better word right now, I'll just say other angels in this department that protect the actual souls of humanity, let me be even more specific about this role. There are those who specifically tend to not only the birthing of new souls, but also caring for souls before they come into incarnation. Once they've completed incarnation cycle and have risen up through the levels, and they're again in that holding pattern before coming down again. Like, this is also those folks as well. But any of this intel, this protective kind of intel, can also be good there too. It really can run the gamut. So please, please, please be in contact as best as you can with your own team. It's like, I can't get into that much detail for everyone. Like, I just don't have the capacity for right now. But yeah, regardless, either implementing the new techniques, insights around the protection for the human soul based off of this mimicking attack that was recently experienced, and or creating or bringing your creative insight into additional ways to protect based off of what has occurred. Okay, and sharing that with the higher realm so that that intel can be used as protection for all human souls. So that is your role in general. Of course, let me know if there's questions. And then I can check in to see if there's more specific guidance, but that seems to be it. Oh, you may also be able to provide additional information to track other hidden energies that might not have been exposed just yet, that was using that mimicking technology, either using it themselves or maybe who even supplied insight, technique, etc., technology to be able to do that. There may be like signatures or traces to help find other players related to that. Yeah, that in particular, if you can do that, would be great, because having that intel helps to point to the specific connections within the beast, as a catch-all phrase, behind that work, behind this this recent attack. So if you can do that, that'd be great. Thank you to the Aries folks. All right, questions, comments, concerns, just put it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll move on. Taurus. You have the Four of Wands. So Taurus, your role essentially, and this is actually not specific to the souls of humanity. It is actually just in general within the kingdom of heaven. Because everything in the kingdom of heaven is not just about humans. It's like all the kingdoms of earth, right? So this is just broadly within the kingdom, not just specific to the human souls in general. Your role is in the department, if you will, for lack of a better word, of death and transformation. Okay, death and transformation is the role and function in the spirit for that Taurus energy overall. Okay. Now, if you are literally a Taurus rising, and as I mentioned before, the opposite sign for your rising sign is where you'd be focusing. That's going to be Scorpio. We'll get to Scorpio later, but Scorpio is related to human souls, but in general, Taurus is the death and transformation energy. Now, you have the Four of Wands. that definitely is feeling more on the transformation side of things. So essentially, um, helping with the clearing process. One second. Okay, yeah, it is a clearing process, basically, in order to help more of the divine essence of the souls of humanity to flow through, more of that energy, the spirit, the light to flow through, because that's actually what's going to push out a lot of the gunk that has been left behind from this experience. Um, I'm sure, as you all know, when you go through a healing process, especially when you're clearing the energy field of something, there's just a lot of stuff that has been left behind, which is essentially an immune system response, if you will, of the soul. So just, a lot of that muck, a lot of that gunk. And so the souls need support in revitalizing and charging that fire, and being able to push more rapidly that energy through. So, um, yeah, in whatever ways, again, working with your team, how that is going to come through for you, with sending more energy to the human souls to support the transformation and the transmutation in a lot of ways of that stuff out of the system, is what will help the souls of humanity who specifically experience this, because not every soul experienced this, right? But as it relates to this, let's see if there's anything else with that. Oh, this may also be specifically targeting the astral realm as well. I know we talked about the beast being specifically at the fifth dimension, but this might also be fourth dimension work, like supporting more pure source like consciousness, energy, spiritual um, light here to support that transformation and transmutation, and to clear out um, places where that beast has roots in the astral. Yeah, so it's just going to be a lot of clearing work. So, working um, with the energetic tools that you have, the cosmic rays, working with Reiki, crystal light, the Holy Spirit, like whatever you use and work with. Really high vibrational tools that you work with, like, will be helpful. But yeah, that will help expose those roots and minimize the grip that beast energy has. Okay, any questions, just put them in the comments. Moving on. Gemini. Again, those with the Gemini rising or North Node, depending on what you know from your chart. So your job, Gemini, in general, Gemini folks are advisors, scholars. This is more like on the scientific thing. So, you know, ascended masters, teachers, that type of vibe is where Gemini is sitting. So they are, for lack of a better phrase right now, like subject matter experts, very wise, seekers of knowledge, etc. So that's essentially the role, playing, providing guidance and insight, and being able to assess, help, you know, make something better, help to achieve a goal, as well as, again, subject matter experts. So you all have the Seven of Pentacles. So it seems like your work is going to be at the seventh dimension. Possibly gathering more intel actually about those at the seventh dimension. Yeah, those are the seventh dimension who were sitting in that space of envy. From what I was picking up, they didn't necessarily seem to be those who were specifically charged with, you know, dealing with the well, I was about to say dealing with the souls of humanity, but I don't think it actually mattered. But yeah, I think it's looking like you guys are getting your work essentially this month is to find out more intel about who they were, what their jurisdiction was, because some folks were directly tied to and dealing with humanity, and some folks were not. They were with other kingdoms. This might actually be more so the other kingdoms, but see what you find out. And that intel is important. Okay. Moving on to Cancer. We have the Death card for you all. Your area in general of focus, Cancer, is actually with the Lord or King of Heaven, which is, as it was given to me, like actually just the Holy Spirit. It's not an individual, it's the Holy Spirit. So that's the realm of the Cancer archetype for rising or North Node, depending on, again, what you know from your chart. But as it relates to these attacks and the beast specifically, you have the Death card. So focus for this month. Interesting. It almost feels like y'all are in positions of deciding, who goes through Taurus, which is really like a transformation. It's a long-term transformation, but it is ultimately a transformation process versus who actually just needs to be destroyed. Yeah. I was like, I mean, you'll be informed by the Holy Spirit because that's the supervisor, if you will. But anybody here Cancer rising or Cancer North Node? There might be some intel coming through about other plans that the beast and or the devil has. Oh, actually, yeah, you might literally be able to get intel from those who are going through the Tartarus experience about other things that are in the works or in the plans. Okay. So, of course, share that with the Holy Spirit and with the high courts, the courts of justice. Whew. Okay. No Cancer folks are cool. Leo. Leo people. All right. Leo, your job overall, like I said, y'all are the folks who essentially are investigators. So could be like literal spies, could be just those who do investigations like journalists. You may also be the ones who announce the news about certain things. Leo and Sag also relate to just like creativity and artists in general in this context, but yeah. this is more so targeted information as it relates to, so this is different from Gemini in that it's targeted information that you're gathering, either as a state of affairs thing or specifically as it relates to where divine laws, where the laws from the kingdom of heaven have been broken. And so you're investigating, right? That's in general the vibe for Leo. So your card is the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely a lot of divine protection here with that card. This card usually means to me like the angels and possibly angelic armies. Yes, this is very much giving me scout energy and like, you know, tracking and all of that with that energy. Okay, so on one hand, if you have intel that you've come across, you can share that with the angelic armies to enable them to be more empowered in their work, be more effective in their work. But yeah, this also can be doing the work of undercover investigation. So finding out more information about, in this case, the beast, about what's going on in the fifth dimension, about the players, about the plans, the tactics, what might be done, etc. Timing. So for lack of a better word, you are to be spying. You're to be spying this month and gathering that info and sharing it with the angels, the angelic armies to protect the souls of humanity. Okay. All right, so far no questions. I love it. Virgo folks are next. Virgo, your role overall is you're associated with the lower courts. So you know how we have here in the US, the Supreme Court, and then like every other court is like a lower court, whether it's a federal court or state or like, you know, small claims or whatever. So the Supreme Court, if you will, is one sign, but Virgo is associated with all the other courts. Not to say quartz, like the crystal. This New York accent be coming through. Yeah, so you're associated with the other courts. So, you know, again, dealing with the interpretation of the laws of the kingdom of heaven. And, you know, you come into play in particular when it comes to the interpretation of that, whether it is someone, you know, challenging a particular law or interpretation of that law at a certain level, i.e. like if somebody's suing in small claims, or if the law actually has been broken at, you know, that lower level, it will go to, you know, this court, and the court would look at the evidence, make a judgment based on the law, and make a judgment about that. The court itself would not be the execution of the judgment, but it would be making a judgment based off of what's happening in the law. So that is the realm that Virgo would be occupying. So everything related to that. Obviously, Leo and Virgo would work closely together because, you know, Leo would be bringing intel to helping to build a case and bring that to, because Leo could also be like, you know, actual attorneys in addition to spies, right? So bringing that intel to the courts, or the information to the courts as it relates to, you know, whatever's going on. So yeah, just justice overall, but justice as it relates literally to the laws of the kingdom of heaven. 3 of Pentacles is your card. Okay, so this is feeling like very much, you are very much empowered to especially now that you have a lot of this insight and information, to be making judgments about what is actually in alignment with the ascension of the souls of humanity and the protection of them, and, you know, the laws of the kingdom of heaven in general, and not in rendering a judgment around that. Again, you don't execute the judgment, but being able to actually do so. So this seems like it would be a situation where stuff would be brought to you rather than you going out to seek them, because it's not really what, I mean, essentially Virgo would be like the judges of the lower courts. I would think, unless they are playing the role of attorney, they might not actually be the judge. I guess, excuse me, it's going to depend on your role. So whatever you have, whatever role you have within that justice system is the role. So, you know, you may be bringing cases to, you know, the lower courts at the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension, and they be making judgment. I don't know what the role is. You know, or you will know. If you're not the judge, you most likely are going to be the attorney, and so you would actually have to go out and, or you would actually have to like be presenting a case and saying what's going on. Now, if it is that, just know in particular, like, you know, these beings didn't work in silos, so there definitely are and have been other folks who are working with them at various levels. And that could be at the family level too. But I would say probably less on a personal side of things and more about like how I mentioned in the last video on who does the principalities who are over families and other like kind of larger groups of humans. Yeah, there might be folks in there. So we'll see. Again, if there are questions, let me know. Libra. Libra. Okay. So Libra, overall, the role of the Lightworker and the spirit is the actual execution of the law. So you enforce the law. You deal with the angelic armies. Also at a broader sense, because Libra essentially is the executive branch. This would also be negotiating treaties or contracts, agreements of any kind, which would make sense with Libra, right? But yeah, so it's both that as well as the actual execution of the law, because you're the executive branch. So within that, depending on your specific role, you'll know what you're supposed to be doing. But your card is the Five of Pentacles. Literally, the card of the beast is showing up here. So you might actually literally be dealing with and commanding, delegating roles within the angelic armies for addressing aspects of the beast that are ready to come down. So you would actually be engaging with spiritual warfare as these specific judgments come through, as a specific intel comes through, right? Now, for Libra rising folks, your opposite sign is Aries, so it still would only be related to those areas. Your jurisdiction would still only be related to those aspects of the beast that would be impacting the souls of humanity, not necessarily the other kingdoms. Just keep that in mind. I said not necessarily other kingdom because, again, I don't know your chart, so to see what comes through for you. I'm getting clarifiers and this whole stack came out, but I have to take it because the Five of Pentacles is still here in the bottom. So, what's this? 1 second. It seems like you'll be able to easily see where to go and what to do. Everybody good? Everybody still here? No, we're going for a while. We're almost done. I have a quick question on some sides. My North Node is 29 degrees Libra, and on others is Scorpio, 0 degrees. Which should I go by? I go by the Placidus system, not whole house. There are also like other systems, but specifically Placidus is in general the most commonly used. Definitely not whole house though. Whole house will force one sign per house, whereas Placidus system will take into account where you are on the planet, which is important because there are different energies that come through. Getting more clarification, of course, the devil comes out. Yeah, it's just flat out spiritual warfare. I was trying to like, you know, finagle around that. um, does that help, Jazz? Joining from Mississippi. Oh, welcome. Welcome from Mississippi. Welcome, welcome. We are basically halfway through going through the signs right now. Just finishing up. Let's see if there's anything else. I mean, it's very blunt and straightforward. But I guess, yeah, whatever the tactics are, they're going to be specific to oh, yeah. So Jazz, I know I was talking about the houses, but the Placidus system should keep that specific. So they, if it's a site that provides multiple types of interpretations of the chart, choose the one that says Placidus. If you use Cafe Astrology, it is defaulted at Placidus. Yeah, for the Libra folks, you know, you touch base with your team about who and what you'll be working with to engage with this, but y'all are actually like frontline defenses because you are the executor of cosmic judgment. So I don't know. If this is something that is like prevalent all month or like how your spirit teams will have you working with that. But again, checking with them for that. Okay. I'm still getting different readings. So the house will differ, but the degree of the node goes between. You're getting different readings from different sites who use Placidus. Is for the degree, is it like late 29? Is it like 29 and like 54, 29 degrees and like 54 minutes kind of thing? Are folks still here? It just looks like it dropped a bunch of folks, but I think people are still here. Yeah, and Placidus, just different sites. Yeah, some of them might actually be rounding to degrees then. So like I said, I use Cafe Astrology because they get like really specific. So it gives you degrees and minutes. So like, you know, it could be like 29 degrees and 54 minutes. But if a site is like rounding up potentially, it's just going to, since it's that close, it's just going to put it at 0 degrees. Are you looking at North Node because you don't actually know your rising sign? Because you don't have your time of birth? I'm still here and have a question now that Jazz is asking. Oh yeah, go ahead. Y'all know I know to answer questions, so let me know. Because the more, remember, I still can only get messages through what I know of framework. So the more folks join in the conversation, there's more that I can tune into that's outside of what I know. Let's see, he's 29 degrees, 8 minutes on Cafe Astrology, and 0 degrees, 2 minutes on AstroSeek. Try astro.com. I haven't pulled a chart on AstroSeek, so I can't speak to their charts, but Astro.com also does specifically like a variety of different types, but like they're, yeah, I'm looking at it as my secondary. I'm a Virgo rising. Oh, okay. So yeah, the primary thing is Virgo. It's just as a secondary, if there is additional information that is there to come through to help provide more specificity, then yes, the secondary can very much be helpful for the North Node. But yeah, try astro.com. I believe their main one when you get a free natal chart is also just defaults to Placidus. And I would say, you know, what that default is, if it aligns with AstroSeek or if it aligns with Cafe Astrology, go with that. Because that's like almost a full degree difference. So I'm like questioning that. Like if it was closer, you know, it would make sense, but like it's an entire degree. So I'm like, something's off. Okay, so you mentioned depending on where you are on the planet, because I moved to Texas, my relocation chart says I'm Cancer rising, I'm Leo. So it's like, it's so natal chart based off of where you were born, not where you are now, where you were born, because where you were born is literally what you came in infused with for the planet. Like that was like the stamp. And obviously we grow and evolve. Like we have a progressed solar chart. We have charts based off of where we live. Like all of that is secondary, and it provides additional information and insight for our growth and what we may be trying to achieve, etc. But I'm speaking specifically about the incarnational imprint is the natal, is going to be the natal chart. Yeah. Right, the Cancer message. I'm like, yeah. Okay. But yeah, if you're able to get more information about Jazz while we're on this, that'd be good. But otherwise, otherwise, the specificity you can get from the opposite sign, which is going to be Pisces of your rising sign. Because that provides specificity for your rising in general, right? The North Node is like a secondary function to complement the primary, but the rising is the primary if you do actually know it. Good questions, y'all. Okay. Scorpio, your role in general is dealing with the physical human life, whereas Aries is like the soul and the energetics and like all of that, you know, birthing the souls, maintenance and all that. Scorpio's more, excuse me, more of that like actual incarnation in the physical worlds, possibly ancestral influence as well, but it's about the physical human life. Okay, so I'm getting 29 degrees, 18 minutes, so different to all of them. Well, but it still puts you at 29. So yeah, I would say you would be that 29 degree. So even if the minutes are slightly off, it's not that much of a difference because from what you said earlier, it's just a 10-minute difference. So that, for all intents and purposes, is conjunct or is the same, or aligned with the cafe astrology. So yeah, I would say your north node in this case would be the Libra 29 degrees. Okay. So that would be secondary to this Three of Pentacles work first, right? You do that first, and then if there is additional work that is for you to do during this month or just in general, then, well, for this month, it'd be the, you know, the spiritual warfare, but overall, yeah. All right, so Scorpio, like I said, you deal with the management of the human physical life. I will just say as a heads up, Scorpio and Pisces are in the departments related to the spiritual inheritance and resources for the souls of humanity. Okay. So definitely whatever has been going on has been hitting close to home for those folks who are related to that. Perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, so that's the area, that department that you govern is the human life, the human incarnation, like the actual incarnation. So for this month, you have the Strength card. This actually feels, and this would actually make sense, it feels like it's complementary with the Taurus work, and like bringing that energy, that vitality, that pure source light consciousness, into essentially people's paths. You know, praying for the removal of obstacles on people's paths that experienced this mimicry attack. Helping to bring those resources and yeah, helping to bring those resources that are supposed to be on that path for that soul, for the souls of humanity in their physical life and livelihood. That type of work is there. That's one component. But it also very much can be, in addition to that, kind of managing and monitoring, but also protection. So yeah, protecting the resources. I don't know what that would look like in the spirit. So again, touch base with your team, wherever this might be showing up. Or the way it would show up in the spirit. Because I mean, it's not my role, so. All right, so next is going to be Sagittarius. We have the 10 of Wands for you. Your role in general, Sagittarius, Similar to Leo and Gemini. Actually, more so Gemini, excuse me, not Leo. You guys are associated with the masters, so ascended masters, those who operate in ordained priestly roles, oracles. And again, this is literally in the spirit, not physical ordination. That's something different. But like Leo, also the artists are here too, but this has to do with spirituality, essentially, you know, praising source, the glorious source, insight on the mysteries, on the nature of reality of the universe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's the realm that Sagittarius lives in. So it's also, you know, being subject matter experts as well. But it's subject matter experts as it relates to the divine and the nature of the divine and our relationship with it. And so there is, you know, obviously a component of that relates to devotion, etc. Okay, so that's those folks. Whereas the Gemini folks would lean more to the quote unquote practical matters of heaven. Again, guides, teachers, etc. Gemini would be looking down and around. Sagittarius would be looking up, right? It's kind of that vibe. So that's overall for the role that Sag plays. It is a very important role because a lot of spirits, not all, but a lot of spirits actually have forgotten or are unaware of the connection that they have with source, the love that's there, the healing and that's there. So the places where there is longing and stuff like that, like the Sagittarian archetype in the spirit is that reminder and that place of refuge and the catalyst to turn within, to turn to source, to God, source creator. So it's a beautiful role. Welcome to folks coming in. If you're just joining us, please say hello. Tell us where you're joining from, what you might be sipping on. But for Sag folks, as it relates to this topic, we have the 10 of Wands. How's everyone feeling so far? Princess of Swords is a clarifying with 5 of Cups. What I was picking up before where I was getting clarification is like it's almost feeling like this role of almost like reviewing. It's like company training that you have to do like once a year or whatever, to kind of get refreshed on you know, the fundamentals of the company. And this card was giving me the vibe of you know, the proclamations of the heavens, of divinity, of reality, like all those kinds of things. So this in particular is key at that 5th dimension, For those souls, those spirits, rather, not souls, but those, well, it could also be souls if you're directed to deal with the human souls. But as it relates to the beast and those connected to the beast, in particular, proactively connected to the beast, essentially acting as a trumpet for the voice of God and calling them back to source, and inviting them into that loving embrace, into the healing of their hearts and their minds and their spirits, of reconnecting and affirming and validating their self-worth, especially in places where there's envy or jealousy. Just overall, not even necessarily have to be related to human souls, but could also be related to souls of humanity. But that work is important. So yeah, it's like the ministering angels. Okay. Next. Capricorn. All right, so Capricorn, you represent, along with Virgo, the judicial branch. So whereas Virgo would be the lower courts, you would represent the Supreme Court or the High Court of Justice in heaven. So hopefully that's clear. I don't have anything else with that. The card for you is the Seven of Cups. This is feeling like definitely seventh dimension, but like possibly dealing with those positions that are now vacant from those beings at the seventh dimension who were connected to this mimicry attack. Like maybe providing some healing work. You may be provided with insider intel about who is being elevated into those vacant positions now. That is in the jurisdiction of the Holy Spirit of pure source light consciousness. Yeah, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Oh, so it's a reminder that the courts are not just about like the punishment side of judgment, but also the restoration side of judgment, right? So this is the restoration side of judgment. So again, I'm not sure what that will look like. Talk with your teams. But that is the focus, and it's important. It's again an important role because, as I mentioned earlier, if seats are vacant, then not good energy will be in place. Okay. Of course, let me know if there are questions, you all. Aquarius is going to be next. Okay, Aquarius folks, overall, you're related to, or essentially the archetype represents the legislative branch. So that branch, which actually divines the laws of heaven from the Holy Spirit, as well as creates the laws based off of, what's going on in the kingdoms. So just broadly, everything related to the kingdom of heaven, the governance, governing bodies, councils, the laws themselves is related to that archetype. Princess of Wands is your card for this month. So this is giving me the vibes of specifically those on the council who deal with the souls of humanity. Rather than the other kingdoms, like it is specifically. That. Oh, one more thing actually for Capricorn folks. You probably will have some input in terms of considerations for who, maybe not necessarily literally individuals, but things to consider when bringing someone on is helpful input. Okay, back to Aquarius. I feel with Aquarius, there might be some more, this might be related to ascension processes for the human soul template. Which may or may not be related to whatever kind of energies are accessed through the soul. Yeah. So that there might actually be some discussions around adjustments to be made to the soul. So it is kind of similar to the Aries energy, but that's really esoteric. Is anyone actually here Aquarius rising? I don't think I have anybody that I know of that's Aquarius rising, because this is like really high mysteries kind of conversation that the Aquarians might be having. And it would have to be primary, like the rising sign is Aquarius. I mean, it could also be Aquarius South Node. If it's Aquarius North Node or Aquarius 7th house, there would be a growing into that information and knowledge. But yeah, it it's definitely not out of reach, but it's a very decidedly highly esoteric conversation. North Node and Aquarius, 7th house, yeah, it's my South Node. So for I think these are like incubator folks, incubator alumni as well too. So yeah, this is common conversation for us for sure, but with the galactics and all that. But yeah, especially that 13th, 14th, 15th, like this would be getting into that level. But yeah, specifically for primary roles, Aquarius rising, that would be there for you. So seeming to be more like conversation and stuff. Possibly working with the energy. Again, I don't know. Work with your team. Last but not least, oh good God. And the value that you get here. Pisces. Pisces overall, your notes. Okay, so this is similar to the Taurus energy, and actually like a couple of the signs that I already mentioned. There's only a few that are like specifically related to the human soul. Most are actually just in general the kingdom of heaven. So this is being reiterated with Pisces in particular. So this is about managing the Maya, which is essentially the field that essentially like nurtures life. It's it's the chi, the key, the infrastructure of material life, like all of that, right? So it is a birthing place of those spiritual inheritances, the resources, all of that, as it relates to everything for all stages of life. You could also think of this as like the weavers, because this is big. This is big work, right? Monitoring timelines is also here, because obviously there's, time space is a location. In classic, Pisces fashion, I don't have like a single word or 2 or 3 words to just give y'all. It's like, it's a very kind of broad thing, but it is actually very specific still. But it's kind of like, yeah, just for lack of a better word, the Maya. But not the Maya itself, but like those who work in the Maya and various aspects of the Maya. The Maya itself is an aspect of Source, but those beings that work within the Maya. is the Pisces department, if you will. Okay, cool. So y'all have the Knight of Cups. Whew. Oh, the Pisces area is the other area where these beings were that were doing the mimicry attacks. So that Pisces, Pisces and Scorpio. This feels like this is a fight, though. Um, or at least a clearing out that also has to be done. So it may be. Let me just tune to the. Let me just tune to the group that deal with the soul of humanity, because there's the other groups related to just the overall general ascension of all kingdoms of heaven is like coming through, and it's too much information. So just those in that department related to the souls of humanity, please. It's Five of Pentacles, the Empress here. Yeah, I think you might have to work with the Libra folks. Or would you actually, I mean, some of you might actually, depending on your charts, have the the jurisdiction, if you will, to command angelic armies in the, if you have that combination in the signs. Um, I don't want to sit in this energy because it feels uncomfortable, because it just, I'm like dealing with an internal battle, because I just don't like, obviously I don't like the double energy. I think it's part of the reason why I feel so conflictual is because so much of the it's still this war energy. I keep getting these nights. It's just not going away. But yeah, I mean, so much of this conflictual energy is here because of the, you know, the stuff with the spiritual inheritance and the positions in the spirits. Yes, obviously there have been physical effects as well in our lives. But it's like there's a lot that has to get reordered and restructured in the spirit. But yeah, I think I don't want to have y'all go to war, but I think y'all also have to be engaging in war, but rather than like the beast per se itself, I don't think. I think it's just more so those specific areas that you would have jurisdiction in that department. Any Pisces rising folks or Pisces North Node folks? If not, that's fine, but it's a tough energy also for me to pinpoint because it's in my 6th house, which is hidden enemy. So it's not a place where I have like a lot of clarity. And right now, I mean, Saturn helps there, but Neptune is also there, so that exacerbates the inability or the difficulty in perceiving there. So I'll be happy when Neptune finally leaves and moves into Aries, because okay, so we got no Pisces folks. So all right. This fight may be more specifically related to helping to defend the positions for folks who defend positions that may now be vacant, obviously because folks got cast out and are, sent to Tartarus, and or defending the new folks who got placed in positions. That at least feels like a little bit more sense, but North Node, okay. I mean, on some level, it's still relevant though, since it's North is the secondary. All right. If any other intel comes through, I'll have to come through folks' teams, because yeah, we're done. So let me get closing guidance. Any questions, comments, concerns as we wrap up? Oh dear God. Depending on the dimensional level that folks are called to, that Pisces, that conflict may be more or less intense, because if it's a defending of vacancies or new people who are in position at, the lower levels, fourth, they got a promotion within the fourth or the fifth dimension, like obviously the beast is there. It's going to be a lot more warfare comparatively to maybe the sixth or seventh. So keep that in mind as well too. But wherever you are called, you are divinely favored to excel in that area. So check in with your teams, the angels, archangels, ascendant masters, benevolent and harmonious star family, lords of light, brotherhoods and sisterhoods of light, and pure source light consciousness about what dimensional level primarily the focus is on. At least to start, you may be called other places, but all right, closing guidance. All right, it's a wrap. All right, so for everybody who is still here, please let me know if that helped provide clarity. Hopefully you were getting downloads and insight about how this is going to relate specifically to you. But of course, over these next couple of days, hopefully as you're spending daily time in upper realms, specificity about where you are to be showing up. As the energy starts to leave now. All right, so we got Knight of Pentacles and Six of Swords, Two of Pentacles on the bottom. Being reminded with this Knight of Pentacles about the initial messages and the path and purpose of the journey that we're on. So even within these messages that just came through, certain things may also unfold based off of where along the path you are. So remember, it was just those 4 cards. We started with Justice card, then it went to Temperance, then Queen of Swords, and then 5 of Pentacles. So, you know, these roles, these assignments may start to come online in different ways as you progress through that throughout the month. So keep that in mind, which is why I said in the beginning, when you go to rewatch this, that you, well, you know, do the meditation if you can, but start with the path and purpose part first, and then go to the zodiac messages for your Lightworker sign, okay? Six of Swords, the divine insight and counsel that you have individually in the spirit is there and is ready to converse. Again, if you're not already conversing, start conversing. They are there. They're like, so messages will flow quickly and easily. It's not like there's going to be any kind of like delay, but you do want to get yourself in the right vibration. So do what you need to do with meditation, energy work to center, to expand, to raise your vibrational frequency, to raise your consciousness, and truly sit in the new position that you have, whatever that is, whatever dimensional level that is. It doesn't matter, but you need to essentially get your mind right, get your spirit right, get your energy right to align with that. And then this flow of information can come through easily. I do recommend for those of you that well, work in the Akashic records if you can with that. It provides an added level of protection of messages, but also helps to keep you clear. It can hold the field a little bit longer as well. It's also great for doing some deeper energetic work. The prayer for the Akashic Records should be pretty widely available online from Linda Howe. Excuse me. So you can use that. I will, at some point in December, also provide via the newsletter and also on the website at some point, a prayer for one of the prayers that I was given to help attune to the Akashic Records. That is an option if you don't really vibe with Linda Howe's one, but ideally what you would do is actually work with Linda Howe's prayer consistently over time to access the records, developing your own soul relationship, and being open to and allowing for the possibility of your own unique prayer to be given to you to access that would be more like attuned to your soul nature. That might make conversation a bit easier and flow more. But like I said, I will provide one of the ones that I was given. I don't really use as much anymore, but it's a good option, again, if you don't really vibe with hers or yeah, but if you, saying all that to say, again, if you want your own, the way to get that is to start with that original and let let one be birthed out of your relationship with the masters and teachers and healers. Okay? Because that is available to you directly. But, you know, again, it's a time investment. So if you don't have that time, the other prayers are available. Or at least her prayer is available. I'll make mine one of mine available soon-ish. I'll try to actually get it out and published before the Spiritual New Year event. Fingers crossed. We'll see. That's the intention. But yeah, be in conversation. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Anything else from folks? I think we're good, but anything else? Comment below. Ooh. It's a much easier offload of energy this time around. It's all gone. Thank you. You're welcome, Edna. Thank you for joining. Please do share the video. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything else, so I am going to bounce. Love you all. Bless you all. God willing, I will be with you next week. I don't know what messages next week will be centered on. But of course, I'll be in conversation with the Holy Spirit and see where we will be focusing. Because I believe we have a new moon coming up, so I might just do new moon messages. But there also was a lot of intel that came through in this that I want to dive a little bit deeper into, especially about the new guard that's coming in. So you know, we'll see. But anyway, love you all. Bye.